Hi and welcome to the Intelligent Data Group demo of the online count engine. This is your opening screen, so from here you have to select which database you wish to run your counts on. We have the postal and telephone database here and the email database. Now there are records that appear in both, but I'll go through that at a later stage with you. So first of all we'll try the postal and telephone database. So here you just select. Now, at any one point throughout the kind of selection process, you can tell how many records are available within your selections by clicking on the 1, 2, 3. So you can see here total number of sites in the postal and telephone database is 1,832,000. Now you can see up here that this is running on sites. If we change that to individuals and then rerun the count, you can see there's 1,928 individual contacts in there. Right. So at any point you can change from running on sites to individuals. Now the first selections that you can make on the databases are within the B2B selections. Now the B2B selections are selections that are available to select from both the mailing and telephone database and the email database. Right. What you can do as well as at any point throughout the selection process, you can click on the 1, 2, 3 button. Now the 1, 2, 3 button gives you an indication of how many records are available in each selection. So you can see here, you'll get North of Scotland, 49,000, South East, 587,000 records. So you can see how many records are available before you actually make your selections. Now, as well as regions, we have postal areas. So again, the UK split up in each individual postal area, and then it then goes out to postal districts and then postal sectors. So again, you can click on the 1, 2, 3, and this will then tell you how many records are in, for example, Aberdeen, an AB postcode, and AB10, AB11, etc. What you can also do as well is you can select by typing in certain postal districts. Again, just type them in and click on search. Now what you can see here as well is because we've added B11, it's brought up Birmingham, Blackburn and Cambridge. So it's up to you which ones you actually select and which ones you actually look to get. Now also what you can do is if you have a list on Excel or Word, etc., then you can actually type in or copy and paste this information into the system as well, so that you don't need to type them in. So here we've got like AB, CB13, CB12, then do just run with select starts with, so that will then run searches with anything begin with AB, anything begin with CB13, CB12. If I apply that, you can see that it picks up first in the postal area. You then click there. Go to next, it'll then look at the postal districts. So what we can do is select, so we've already got Aberdeen, so we can do here is just select those ones, include, go to next. It'll then ask you for the postal sectors, but we've already got the districts and postal areas, and you can see here that it's now selected those. So as well as selecting on region and postal area, that's another region there, you can then select on towns. So we've got a list of towns here. So again, you can search for towns on the search bar here, or you can paste them in here. The system also has a drive time functionality. The drive time is based on both the time and distance from a certain postal district. So we'll try our postal district here, which is G2. Distance will go for 20 miles, so it's 20 miles per road, and it's calculated at an off-peak. So you can see here, these are all the postal districts that are available to drive to within 20 miles of G2. Now what you can also do from here is if there's extra postal districts that you want to include, you can simply include them by clicking on the relevant postal districts, and the same if you want to exclude anything, then you just click on the green shaded area and that will deselect them. You can just run on count. And again, what we see is it then comes on the summary screen. So we've got our Aberdeen ones, which was our original postal areas, and you've now got your postal districts within the drive time. We also have counties, which is the same as a town, a list of counties in the UK. We also have a postal map, which gives you a visual representation of the postal areas within the UK. And again, that's just available to select count, and then you can now see that those have been added to your selections. We have two sections here for market sectors, basically market sectors in alphabetical order in a kind of tree display, or market sector just is a whole list. So, for example, market sectors are lines of businesses. It goes into more detail than the SIC code. For example, if you look at engineers, select here, you can see a list of all the engineers that are actually within our database. So rather than clicking them all, you can just do select all. That will then select everything that has engineer in the line of business or market sector. Click on count, and that then summarises all engineers there and how many records there are available. The other functionalities on the system, we've got company name search. That's where if you want a list of company names searched on, you can just paste them in there. Has telephone, that's to restrict the records that you're counting on, that they must have a telephone number, and same with fax as well. Now, not on TPS is important if you're going to use the database for telemarketing purposes. So there you can then exclude companies that are actually on the TPS. MPS is the mail preference service, and FPS the fax preference service. Now, what you can also select on, rather than using SIC code, you can select on premise type. So this is how they would describe the place of business. So you can do manufacturing, places of worship, shops, services, schools and educational, small office, home office is all your kind of office-based organisations. There's transport as well. So you can use that rather than using your SIC codes. Then go into key SDM. Now the key SDM, I'll go into that in a little bit more details. That's key decision makers, and it's in relation to contacts. What we also have is fleet band. So again, you can then select make your selections on companies based on the size of fleet. You get SIC 2003 codes. What we have here is a postcode selector. So what this is you can actually paste postcodes into the system in order to make your selections by geography. Employee range. Our database is built on both actual employee figures and employee ranges. Employee ranges are fixed between 1, 2 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 19. If you have a particular project or client that's looking for say between 16 and 18 employees, you wouldn't be able to find that by selecting the bands. So what you can do here is you can actually put in the range that you wish to search on. So you just simply type in there, continue, and that'll make your selections and restrict by 16 to 18. Year established is when obviously the company's established. Company upload is if you have more than 500 names to upload, you have to upload it through the system by using an Excel file. So you can see here, just upload, navigate to your Excel file and upload that. And you can also do that with address line ones as well. Now we go to the mailing and telephone selections. So what you can see here is we have our 2007 SIC codes. So again, if we use the example of engineers, then what you can then see is what SICs are covered by engineers. You can see there's a lot less engineering SIC codes compared with the line of business, so it really depends on how much information, how specific you want one to be. So they're all here. You can make your selections again, select all or deselect all if you want to remove them. Post-employee bands, that's again, as I was chatting to you about, is the actual employees. So what you can do for this is basically you can select, if you wanted to select 1 to 10 employees, you can also double click on those and that makes them excluded. So what we can now do is exclude anything from 1 to 10 employees, and you can see here that anything that you exclude on the system will come up in red, anything you include will come up in black. That's just so that you know that you've selected the right information. Location indicator is just basically where it gives you the branch, headquarters, single sites. So that allows you to exclude branches or only concentrate on single sites HQs. Turnover bands, again, these are the turnover the banded turnover for each business. We've got legal status, which just helps you identify limited companies, PLCs and non-limited. Contact job function, so this is the contacts where this is the responsibility. So we've got the senior decision maker, we've got finance, marketing, sales, HR. Now the key decision maker on the senior decision makers is all the main contact that we have within the organisation, which tends to be director, managing director, proprietor, but there are also general managers there, and if they're the most senior contact, they will then go into the SDM. The key SDM basically removes any contact that we have as an SDM that is not director level. Right. So again, you can then see, I'll just do the 1, 2, 3. You can see on the volumes available within your selections. You can see there's 365 SDMs, but of those, 310 are obviously directors and above. Contact job title. If you're not looking for responsibilities, you can then look at the actual job titles. We have 30,000 job titles available across the database. If you look, for example, here, marketing, this then gives you a list of all the different marketing job titles. You can see here we're on already here 400 available. The title is just basically where you select the gender of the person, whether it's a Mr. for male, Mrs. or Ms. for female. Surname, if you want to exclude or include certain surnames, you can do it here. Contact has email. So this is where, although we're running counts on the mail and telephone database, you can then make selections that to ensure that they also have an email address. So that's where the email matches the contact that you have here. If you're not so bothered about the contact, you're just looking for an email address for the company, you can then use this. And it's just simply clicking yes, that information needs to have an email address as well. We've now got also the DPN paste. The DPN is our unique reference number for the mail and telephone database. So if there's less than 500 records or 500 DPNs, you can paste them in here. If there's more than 500, you have to upload them. And what that allows you to do is that allows you to either use records that has our unique reference number as an inclusion or an exclusion, depending on what you want to do. National employee bands. National employee bands is how many employees a business has. So for example, a branch will have a site employee figure of say 50. If you take a Tesco store for example, but the national employee band for Tesco's will be in excess of 40,000. So this allows you to select what the company has rather than just the site. Phone STD is basically if you want to run any counts rather on geography for the phone STD code. And again, what you can now do is upload phone numbers as well. So if you have a suppression list of phone numbers, like a do not call list, you can upload them to here. So again, you can use that as an exclusion so that you don't download any records that are on your do not call list. We also have had as a website, so if you need all the records to contain a website address, you can then select website, and personal emails only. So this goes with the contact has an email. So if you want the contact with an email and has a personal email, you can then select based on that. Email selections. Email selections are pretty similar. There's just a few variations which we'll go through. Contact job function on the email database, there's slightly some more. So you'll see here that we've got facilities, a health and safety contact that's available. Other ones are just related to email, so it's like emails are generic, so you can remove or include generic emails. Email domains, so you can paste a certain list of domains, like if you wanted to contact everyone that had a Hotmail address or everyone that had a Google Mail address, you can then use that there. Has a generic domain, so this is if you want to exclude anyone that doesn't have a company email address that has a kind of Yahoo, etc. So all these are pretty similar to the mailing and telephone, but they're just specific to emails. So what we'll now do is we'll now go on from selections to actually a breakdown of your selections, how to download records, and then how to actually extract the data as well. So What we can do is we can look at our present example, which is the engineers. That means there's 369 records. You can then go to next, and this is where you now save. So what we can then do is segment. We'll just do test and put today's date in and save that. So that means this selection will be available to you for the next week, month and years to come. So again, what you can then do is before you kind of restore an old selection, you can just do it by easily here. You can also have a preview of what your selections is, so you can make sure that that's the right information there. Alright, so we've now got 369 records. So now what we're going to do is go to place order. So what we can do here is we can select if you have a selection and you're only looking for say 50 records at any one point, what you can do is you put in the volume that you require here, down here, place order, select pack. So this is we're wanting for the postal and telephone. Give it a name, so test and then today's date, and then place order. So what this will now do, this will then go to the database itself, create the file, and then send you an email in order to give you a code in order to download those records. Now, if you come back a month later and you're looking to take the remaining records, or say another 100 records, then what you can do is basically you can suppress that previous order by just putting in your volume here. Then go to your suppression. So what you can do is you can select any downloads that you've previously requested, and then this will now suppress, if you do it here, that will suppress any of those records so that you're not downloading the same record twice. So you just put in the number of records you require, go to place order, and that will then automatically suppress all your previous orders or the order related to this, so you're not downloading duplicate records. Again, what you can do in here is before you download, you may want to see what the distribution of those records are. So what we can now do is then look at, say, the market sector, and we'll do the employee bands. Just click here. Just do click finish. That'll then go away and that'll create a breakdown. So again, it emails you, but these breakdowns are usually available within a couple of seconds. You can see here, download report. Go here, open it up, and you can now see that all our engineers broken down by employees. So that's the 369 records. So that gives you an idea of how the distribution of the records will be. And that's it. If there's any other questions, then please after this just email me at data@inteldg.co.uk. Thank you.